Hi, I'm Lucas Mack. I'm a former TV reporter, a published author, TEDx speaker, musician, advertising agency owner, and management consultant. I'm also a former Christian preacher who dedicated 15 years of my life searching for truth and love. I've done a lot of work to heal, and I'm on a mission to see the hurting get healed and the healed go out and heal others, in order for all of us to experience the true love and light we desire. This podcast is me sharing my journey with you, so you don't feel alone in your journey. Welcome to the Golden Rule Revolution. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to another episode of the Golden Rule Revolution. I am Lucas Mack, and it is such a pleasure to have you join me on this podcast, on this journey of love and light, this journey of sovereignty, this journey of healing and courage and truth and goodness and unconditional love. And speaking of unconditional love, I am beyond honored to bring back Rachael Rae, the Radiant Warrior on Twitter. Beautiful sister, incredibly beautiful sister. She radiates light truly from inside out. And this conversation that we had at the end, I play something that I've never shared with anyone. And she hears this experience that I had. And this is just a beautiful conversation. And whatever comes up for you in this conversation with Rachael and I, just know that you're loved. Everything's going to be okay. And we don't need agreement to love one another. So blessings, brothers and sisters, to each and every one of you, and enjoy this episode. Everyone, I'm so excited to bring back my sister, Rachael. She is back for podcast episode number 2. And I loved our first episode. That was powerful. That was so powerful. And I'm so glad to have you back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm great.
What a time, huh? What a time.
Yes. It's exciting. It's so exciting. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been waiting for. This is it.
I was telling someone today, what I love more than anything is truth.
Yep.
That's it. Truth. I want truth.
Yep.
I want truth. And I will change. I will shift. I will do whatever if I find that I am not in truth. I want truth.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
I want lies exposed. I want everything brought to the light. And here we are at this time that, and things are happening.
It is. It's happening. Our work in the spiritual realm is coming to fruition. It's coming to the physical. It's here. And it's so beautiful. Like, I'm really excited. Things are just really pretty much falling into its place. And it's just so amazing how everything is everything is literally falling into the place for good, for the greater good of humanity, for the greater good of America, for the greater good of the world. That's right. I'm just so happy. I don't know. It's like I can't contain it anymore. I just want to here, everybody here. Just wake up and see and taste the beauty of it.
And surrender.
Yes.
We don't have to carry that heavy burden of anger or frustration or I know the left our sweet dear brothers and sisters on the left are so exhausted. They've got to be exhausted. It's exhausting to carry that hate and that fear and that rage and that and so tell me, since we talked last, like what you've experienced, what you've learned, what's going on.
Oh, wow. So I got to go to Blexit for the cop, like what was it? The blue, back to blue. So I got to go to the White House and see President Trump talk. This is one of the top 10 moments of my life. You hear me? To be in the presence of Trump. I was a fan. I was fanning. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm here right now. This is great. And to be in the presence of so many patriots, and to be there in that, like, I was like, remember I always said I wanted to feel what it was like to be in a Trump rally. And this was what it was. And it was just like, this was like just a little taste of what a Trump rally was really about. Even though it was pretty much about, you know, just law and order and things like that, but we still got to feel his presence, the energy, the excitement, the beauty. And like, it was like we had to march after we heard him talk. We kind of pretty much marched around like the White House. And like, there were so many like biblical signs, so many spiritual people out there, the Jewish people, I don't know what they were, but they were out there, and we were marching. And I just felt the spirit, like these angels were there and everything like that, the march. And I just kept getting emotional. I was telling my friend, I said, I'm just having this moment right now. And I just kept crying, and it was just so beautiful. And then like, there were banners of like the Lion of Judah, and then the white horses, and the Ark of Covenant. What else? It was just the 12 tribes of Israel. Like, it was just so beautiful. It was just, I was just like, I'm having a moment right now. And it was like everything that I kind of dreamt about, like the white horses kind of pretty much did it for me, because I had a dream about white horses, you know, the night, like a week before. And I was like, what does this mean? Like, I didn't really know what that meant, and then to see the banner and things like that, and everything just pretty much tie into the place, I was like, wow. And it was so beautiful. And then I ended up getting this revelation on the airplane back from Washington on Sunday. And I was just kind of sitting there, just kind of soaking it all in and letting it just pretty much soak in. And I got a revelation that, you know, this whole Make America Great Again, the hats, the red and everything like that signifies the blood of the Lamb over the Israelites' door when they were about to get, you know, the exodus from Israel, the exodus from Egypt.
Yes.
And this is pretty much what this means. This is like the new age symbol of the red blood over your door. That this is like, it's means we're marked safe. We are safe from defeat. We are safe from destruction. We are safe from everything the left thought that was going to destroy us. We are safe from it because we have entered into this covenant with God. And and a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people might not see it that way, but that was the revelation that was given to me. And I was just like, and I just broke down on the airplane. And I know the guy that was sitting next to me was like, what is wrong with her? But I just broke down. And I just cried, and I just cried, and I just cried. And I was like, wow, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. It was just so amazing. It was amazing. And that revelation kind of just sealed the deal. It was like, we're safe.
Yes.
We're safe.
We are. It's, you know, growing up, like reading the Bible so often and hearing the stories, I've really come to understand the past couple years that things are happening. We just don't see them. So prophecies can be fulfilled but they're not going to broadcast, hey, the Bible is coming to fruition, or that they're not going to, they being the media is not going to just broadcast, hey, this is happening. And so it's taking, and a lot of people are still waiting for, everyone's got to see it. Well, how do you control how it's seen through media today? And so things are happening all around us, and that's so cool. You got to be at Blexit. And for people hearing that term for the very first time, explain even what that is. And then I want to, after you explain it, I can't wait to talk about who was there. I saw Brandon Tatum.
I got to take a picture with him. And I saw Candace Owens, and I saw who else did I see coming off the airplane? I cannot think of his name right now, but I'll remember it. Larry
Johnson?
No. I can't think of his name, but we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But Blexit is pretty much like the Black conservatives coming together, pretty much. It's like a bunch of Black conservatives coming together as you know, because a lot of people think that Black people are supposed to be Democrats. And Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum, you know, is showing a lot of people that, you know, this is what it is. And so Blexit pretty much brings all the Black people, or people of color, Hispanics, Asians, whatever it is, everybody come together and be like, look, this is what conservatism is about, and this is what we're about. This is what every thing that the media is not showing you, everything that people think it's pretty much the opposite of what the media is showing you that a person of color or immigrant or anything is about. So that's pretty much what it is. And it was just so random how I ended up on Candace Owens live one day, and she started talking about it, and I was like it. Like I just and I just ended up there, and it was just so crazy because they were talking about going to Washington, but I was like, cool, I just get to march, so that's fine, like that's cool with me. And then the night before we go, they sent us the White House invitation to come, that you need to go ahead and fill this out or you won't get to go to. And I'm like, White House, what? Wow. Yeah, it was so cool. It was really cool. It was really cool. But it was so powerful, so powerful. And everyone had the same story. People from California had the same story as people from Atlanta, people from Alabama, people from Utah was talking about how they felt like, that they were being like discriminated against for supporting Trump and things like that. I'm like, Utah? I thought Utah was like a conservative, or y'all didn't even care about anything like that. But there was people from all over the nation that was there. And for us to come together as one, as a nation, just for freedom, I was like, this is just a great part of history. It's like, this is just, it was beautiful. And I just kept having these moments where I would just cry tears of joy just for being there. And it was just so surreal. And I was telling my friend, I was like, wow. And I kept telling her, thank you for coming with me, because I don't know if I would have, came alone, because I didn't really know anybody. But I pretty much kind of dragged her into coming with me so I wouldn't be by myself. But it was amazing. It was really amazing. It was amazing. And to hear, there were preachers out there preaching, about come to Jesus, come to God, just live this life of sin, live this life of slavery, take the shackles off and walk in freedom and things like that. So it was more than just a march for backing the blue or law and order. It was like, I kept telling, I was like, this is the last call. This is the last call for people who do not wake up. If you don't wake up, this is it. This is it. This is the red blood seal over the door. The storm is coming. The death is coming. Yeah. And it might not be in a literal sense, but things of the old are really dying. Everything of the old, all the evil is dying. Hate is dying. And love is living. Love is love is here right now. The light is here. Darkness has fallen, and there's nothing that they can do about it. So their hands they have already been defeated, and they know that they've been defeated. The left has know that they've been defeated. The devil knows that he's been defeated. So there's nothing. He's gonna fight to the last drop of him, and he's already been defeated. So light wins, God wins.
Light wins, God wins, and love gives truth permission to come forth. When there's love, everyone feels safe enough to share their truth, and that's we've been missing for so long. We've been. I was talking to someone yesterday who's been an incredible mentor in my life, and he said, we're in the era. We are leaving it, but we've been in the era of shame. Prior to the era of shame was the era of guilt. So in guilt, that, your family guilt you. Like, I have a Jewish mom, Catholic dad. Like, I joke around like the Super Bowl of guilt. Jewish wife, we know guilt. It's kind of like intrinsically passed down. But guilt still enables a black and white. This was right. This is wrong. You're not doing right. But shame says you're not right. Shame says you are actually wrong, and you're intrinsically, systemically, you can't do anything to make it different. And love is washing all this away right now. And then people are standing there like, oh, I can actually talk. In love, we can talk. We can talk about all things. We can talk about issues. We can talk about traumas and pains and rejections and hurts. And then when we do, this is why shame and division and fear and hate and all these things have their place, because they keep people from talking and realizing, oh, we're all the same. Oh, my pain, Oh, that's just like your pain.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just like,
it's just like my pain. Oh,
right.
and when we start sharing our stories, it is like we are made in the image of
Yep.
the Most High, and we are so beautiful. We are
Yes.
so beautiful.
Yes. Yes. We are. And it's so amazing. Love wins. God wins. And it's so good to stand in this truth and this knowing that everything is all right. Everything that you thought was not going to be right is all right. Everything is going to, there's only up from here. There's nothing that no one can tell you anymore. There's nothing that no one can guilt you into feeling bad about yourself anymore. There's nothing that no one can shame you for anymore, because you stepped into the light and you stepped into your truth. So you can stand bold and be on this horse and just stand proud and be like, yes, this was me. That was the old me. But this is the new me today. This is who I am. This is where I am. And if you want to experience it, you're going to have to leave that old thing, that old thought, that old train of thought behind. You're going to have to leave it behind, and you have to move forward. And you have to keep moving forward. And I gave an analogy to someone today earlier, because we were pretty much talking about, we talked about, she said something about the only way to heaven is through Christ. And I was like, no. I said, Jesus did not say that. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Yes.
Not I am the only way.
Yes.
And so I gave her an example as to, I said, okay, we're in 2020 and everybody has these new iPhones and things like that. And now you want to tell me that your old Nokia 320 that does not have a camera, that does not have a keyboard, that does not have anything to do with the iPhone features is better because that's old, like it's old. The old things have passed away. All things new are here. So if you want to compare it to that, your old iPhone is like, your old Nokia is kind of like dead. It doesn't do anything.
That's right.
So you have to upgrade yourself. You have to upgrade in the spiritual sense. You have to upgrade in the physical sense. But spiritual upgrade is number one. You got to take that old thought process and throw it out the window. Because it's not going to work for you anymore, because it's not working for you, because you don't know everything. You can't know everything. So you always have to be open to change. You always have to be open to new interpretations when you read the Bible. She was saying that, well, I read that means that I didn't read the Bible enough. I said, no. I said, every time I read a passage in the Bible, I get a different meaning. I get a different understanding. I don't get the same meaning every single time I read it. So you shouldn't always feel that because you read the Bible, or you've read the whole Bible, you're better than someone, or that you know the Bible more than someone that hasn't read it. We don't know everything. You don't. The Spirit always gives us. And I said, if you're looking at life through a microscope, and God is trying to take away the microscope and give you the broader vision of things, you can't say that you know everything looking at the microscope level. You have to be able to let him take away that microscope and give you a bigger vision, or give you a greater. He's given me the window seat in the high rise at the Trump Tower.
I love that. That's it. And to, I'm so glad we're talking. Everyone, Rachel and I just popped on and we started recording, so we didn't have any pre-talk. So I'm glad we're talking, because language, words, they are so powerful. They are the most powerful. Solomon said, life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Jesus said, in that day thou shalt give an account of every idle word thou hast spoken, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. James says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Our words are so powerful. God, Hashem, creates the existence of all that is with his words, and he speaks, and out of his mouth proceeds a double-edged sword. All these things are words, sound, frequency. That's why worship is so important, and gratitude is so important. And the serpent always knows how to twist words.
Yep, he does. Ooh.
First thing serpent says to man, the first conversation between Satan and man is, are you sure God said that? Yea, as God said. Are you sure? And here's what's interesting about the text. We're just going to go down a little Bible study here because I think it's so fascinating. So God says in Genesis chapter 2, says, don't eat of the tree lest you die. When the serpent said, are you sure God said that? Eve responded, we shall not eat it, neither shall we touch it lest we die. So all of a sudden, added into what was said, created that opening for their confusion and fall. So then I look at this is so good. John 14:6, for 300 years almost, and to this day, the King James Bible says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. All the new Bible versions from 1881 from the on, Rome got back in. So the Jesuits got back in and changed the English text because English was the universal language at the end of the age. This is it. Everyone speaks English. If you go to Japan and do business, China and do business, France you do business, South America, you speak English. English is the unifying language of the age. And they changed John 14:6 to say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through me.
Through me. Wow.
One little
now
word.
I'm going to give that to her. Right.
Oh, sis. Right. One little word. And here's another one just says, I'm so glad we're talking. And this is something that's also super important. The King James Bible, which by the way, Jamestown, which is the first colony to which is now Virginia City, Virginia, was the first colony to survive the winter in the United States. Like God's hand was on this colony, giving homage to this king who gave the English Bible in the vernacular of 11-year-olds. So it was written for a fifth grade reading level back then. So talk about, we don't know, like we're so intelligent. Even fifth graders could process language at a level that we have a hard time with today. Why I bring all that up is in Revelation 1:6, it says, and he has made us kings and priests unto God his Father. Nothing is above a king and nothing is above a priest. King and priest. And that union of worship and sovereignty is nothing. That is it. Worship and sovereignty. But here's some 1881 to today. On all the other Bible versions, it says, and he has made us a royal priesthood. Which changes it. Because royal priesthood serves a king versus you and I have the authority of king. You and I have the authority of priest. But a royal priesthood is a system, a subservient slave mindset. And Daniel's prophecy, I'm just going to bring it all back to this, is Daniel's prophecy of the four kingdoms, the statues of the four kingdoms. The feet are iron and clay, which is what Rome is. And we are at the last second for love and truth to wipe away the lies of Rome. And it's going away.
Praise God.
It's going away.
Yes. Yes.
It's man or mankind. And I want to do some research now to think about this, what Roman versus human and what's the difference? Human versus Roman. There's got to be reptilian, all these.
Of course, right.
Rebellion, rejection, renegade, that. But humility.
Humble.
Yeah. Oh, there's something to this pronoun to our humanity. I'm fired up. You got me fired up, sister.
It's gonna. There you go. Here you go. You go.
That's so good.
Yes, I'm just. It's just been a great. It's just been a great experience, and I feel good. I feel great. Like I don't know. I feel. My friend said your throat chakra has opened up, and I was like, yes, it has, and I love it because I've never been able to speak my mind the way that I am able to now. I've never felt comfortable in myself, and now I'm like, this is me. You gonna love it, or you gonna hate it. So either or, I'm still going to be me, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Mm.
And it's been a great journey since then. And my husband loves it. Like, he's just like, yeah, go on with your bad self, boo.
Get on after
I'm right
that.
behind you.
That is
Go
so
ahead.
cool. That is so cool. Where did your
Yeah.
husband grow up? I know you told where you grew up last time, but where did he grow up?
He grew up in Nigeria. He grew up
him
in,
too.
he's Nigerian. He's Nigerian too.
Wow.
He
Wow.
grew up in Nigeria. You know, he kind of moved around a lot, like migrated and things like that. He lived in South Korea.
Wow. Wow.
Right. Right. He lived in South Korea and for some time, and then he went back to Nigeria, and then he came back here. But so that's just what it was. So he's kind of seen different versions, like different parts of the world that I haven't seen. And he's just pretty much like, he's taught me a lot. He's just pretty much taught me to just kind of be yourself, regardless of whatever nobody says. And I thank God for him, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be able to know who I am. I don't think I would be able to be this calm person, because I always felt on edge. I was always angry because I didn't know how to express myself. And being with him, it was night and day. And we were like yin and yang. And it was like we came together and we became this unit. And it's just been beautiful. And that's why I say I know God had his hand in this. It had to be God, because he would never, like, I don't know. It's just, he was never the type of guys that I would ever even look at or anything like that. But so that's how I know it was God. It was God. It was God. So we're both Nigerians, and it's just like that. And I never thought I would probably end up with a Nigerian since I grew up here. But hey, God was like, this is it. And I'm like,
It's such a cool story. He was preparing him ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Just being here alone I think being here and talking to you and talking to other patriots and meeting other spiritual sisters and brothers and things like that has pretty much like solidified that I am moving in the right direction. We are going in the right direction. Nothing that you went through was in vain. And it's like we all have the same kind of story. We were all kind of like covered in this darkness, and we had to crawl our way and grow our way through this darkness. So it was like, once we found that light, we kind of ran with it and ran to it, like ran towards it. And it's like, there's no way that this is not a coincidence. This is not something that just kind of happened, for no reason. This was a God thing. This was something that God had been preparing us for the longest time. And for us to wake up and for us to understand that this was God, number one. And I'm doing this because God has been preparing me to do this. It's just one of those amazing things that I was like, wow. Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. And that's just, and even when I don't have the words to say for anything else, I just say thank you. I'm just thanking. I'm just so grateful, because that's where we're at right now. The attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is his love language.
Yes.
Like, that's God's love language. That's his love language. Just thank you. Oh, I thank you, God. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've been doing. And the more you thank him, the more he puts new things in your life, the more that he opens new doors. Like, he just kind of has a bulldozer and he just kind of rams through it, and you're like, oh, thank you, Daddy, thank you, Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you just have to just continuously thank him and be in this spirit of thanksgiving. And the angels rejoice. They're rejoicing with us. They're just happy. They're dancing, they're shouting, they're screaming, they're praising him and things like that. And the more that they do that, the more the light in us just kind of bursts wide open. The more the light reflects, and the more the light touches other people. And I told my friend that I went to Washington with, I was like, I saw myself, like, I had the fire and she had the candle, and I was lighting the candles, and I was lighting candles for people, and I was just lighting candles. I was like, here. And I'm just like, God has really put this flame inside of me. It's inside, and there's nothing, I can't not do any, like, I can't not reach out to other people to light them. Those that want to be lit, I'm here. Those that want to rejoice, I'm here. But there's been a lot of enemies of progress, is whatever you want to call it, and things like that. People who will shame you or try to bring up your past, you know, for who you was and things like that. But I'm just grateful because I tweeted the other day that I had family members calling or texting me or messaging me saying that, did Trump pay you to come see him? Because we saw it on the news. And I was like, this is me. Like, you think, if I'm going to tell you the truth, I didn't get paid to do this. I'm doing this. You think I'm going to support Trump? Like, I'm supporting Trump because I'm getting a paycheck from this? No, this is the truth. I'm standing in truth. This is what it is. And we never, like, foreigners have been so accustomed to work. Like, they come here, immigrants, they come here and they work. They work. They don't get to sit down. And by the end of the day, they get to sit down, they turn on the TV and it's CNN. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't have the time to sit down and look at other things. They don't have time to sit down and look at the history. You know, we had to take the citizenship test to become citizens of this country. They give you 150 questions that's 5th grade level, like probably even 3rd grade level. So it doesn't even go deep down into the history of the United States. And then out of those 150 questions you're given, you only pretty much only answer from between 3 questions to 10 questions, depending on how good you do. You understand what I'm saying? So you go through this process, but at the same time, because as an American, now you have to go learn the history of America. But we come here thinking that, you know, even our parents come here thinking that, you know, we're just here, we're working for the almighty dollar, and we're just going to do whatever it is that they tell us to do, and just to live a better life, and just not really understand what the deeper, they don't go to the deeper roots. They just kind of pretty much listen to this news. And that's how immigrants are becoming these Democrats and things like that, because they don't know any better. And the ones that do finally know better, they're looked at as, you are strange. You are a strange creature. And for you to do that, and because this man hates immigrants and he hates people that come here, but you have to understand that it's his country first, regardless of whatever it is. We come here for a better life for our children and in a future. Then we have to just continuously trust this man for what he's doing for his country, and pray that God sends a leader in the country that you came from to do the same thing and put his country and his people first before anybody else. And that's my story. That's the preaching that I preach to these people. And they're like, oh, you're far gone. They kind of leave me alone after that. But I can't blame Trump. It's his country first. This is where he grew up. This is where his children are going to be. This is where the nation, like, we have to think about the future, not just right now. It is what it is, or this country will turn into the country we fled from. You understand what I'm saying? And there's nowhere else to run after this is gone. Where are we going to go?
Right.
Where's there to run? There's nowhere else. So I'm going to fight tooth and nail for this country, you know, for whatever, because I need my children to have a better future. I need the generation after me to come to America is the land of milk and honey. I can't lie, because there's no other place where you can come here and be nothing, you know, back home. And then you come here and you own a gas station, you own a business, you own a house, you buy a house, you buy cars, you buy whatever it is. Think that and go to school and do all of these things. You have this opportunity here in this country to do that. So they're trying to take that away from the new immigrants. My kids are going to have a better future. The generations that come through me are going to have a better future, because I started seeing how, you know, America was going, and I was like, yeah. I know people who were coming to America in the 80s and things like that were saying America was never like this before, you know, and they were saying how it's so much different. And then the conservatives, the immigrant conservatives that started talking about how they've been here for so long and saying how America has shifted. So there's some people that understand that, you know, there was a shift, there was something, but they just couldn't put their hand on what it was, because they didn't have the time to just kind of go do the research and things like that. So I don't know what else to say. I'm just like, America first, and we got to get America back to where it was. And America is going back to where it was, because this is the last hope for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It is.
I've given many keynote talks in business, and I say, so goes America, goes the world. And I've been saying this for 10 years in this talk, and the talk is called the Golden Rule Revolution. And it goes through, it starts with the evils of slavery. And it starts with this man who's a slave owner and slave ship trader going, and his father was, so he's second generation business owner. And the business was trading human life and buying human life. And he goes to West Africa, and his ship sinks off the coast of West Africa. Slaves die. He's rescued by another slave ship that sees his ship go down. That slave ship captain, who's white, takes this white man who was the captain of this other ship and sells him as a slave to the Africans there on the coast. He becomes a slave, and he's treated kindly. They actually took care of him, and he started to see, like, what? This is not what I was told, not what I thought. Then he's brought back, and on the slave ship, he gets sick, and the slaves take care of him. And he was crushed, pricked, changed so deeply, so soul deeply, that he goes back, renounces everything that he was a part of, and became a Christian preacher in a little stone church in downtown London. And he was one of the leading abolitionist voices, one of the most prolific abolitionist voices throughout all of Great Britain. And this little boy grew up in his church, and this little boy would hear his preaching and hear this man preach against the evils of slavery, talk about they're all human beings, that we're all made in the image of God, that we all have the same soul, we're all made of the same breath, we all breathe the same air, we all have this beautiful facets of this light refractal that we all are part of. And this little boy grows up, and he joins Parliament and becomes best friends with William Pitt Jr. William Pitt Sr. was prime minister at the time when these boys were growing up as young boys, and that's where we get Pittsburgh named after. It was named after William Pitt. These little boys were William Wilberforce and William Pitt Jr. William Pitt Jr. eventually becomes prime minister of Great Britain. William Wilberforce is the leading abolitionist voice, and slavery was abolished a few days after he died in 1805. It was stopped in the British Empire. That preacher, his name was John Newton, and John Newton penned the most famous hymn of all time, which is Amazing Grace. It was a slave trader who wrote that. And why I bring this up, and I gave this talk, I said, this is not about religion. This is about people seeing people as people and loving people again, not labels, titles. When we leave that division and we come and say, what I do to you, I do to me. What you do to me, you do to you. We are all in this together. And the verse, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. The second verse goes, 'twas grace that taught my heart to fear. And grace means something given, not deserved. And it's not like we're not worthy of it. It's that we don't have to do anything to earn it. It's not, oh, woe is me, I'm given love. And love is grace. God loves us. The love, infinite, unconditional love of source, universe, God, existence loves us so much that it is grace, because we don't have to perform, do, act, think, be, strive for anything to receive it. And it taught him to fear, not love, but that path of division. And he stayed in love his whole life. And I would give these talks to these business leaders, say, you don't know who the next William Wilberforce is in your business.
Right.
You don't know who the next, you light these candles with the fire in you. You don't know who's the next, I don't know who, just someone, powerful, the next Candace, the next you.
Right. Me.
Come on now. When we love and stand for humanity and people and love people and call forth their beauty and their goodness and truth, and to say, leave these things of division, leave these angry souls that will keep angry places. That is not freedom. That is bondage. And you can be free. Just come.
But they look at you like you're crazy when you're yelling, come to this side, come here. Freedom feels great. Freedom is there's no chains. Loosen those chains. Let those chains go. Let it go. Let it all go. Come and taste the goodness. Come and taste how beautiful it is. Come and feel how freedom feels. But they're looking at you like, you lost her mind. Something is wrong with her. But you can't make them see, so you just kind of pretty much have to live it so they can see, they can watch you and live in that freedom, so they can say, something that she's doing might be what I need to be doing, because I wasn't listening, but now that I'm looking at her, I have to do what she's doing. So then you get the phone call like, hey girl, that's how they are. What's up? So it's like estranged friends are starting to call me now, like kind of like, hey, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, I'm still like, hey, how are you? Blah blah blah, and stuff like that. So then they start telling me things that they've never told me before, and they start opening up more, and they start trying to see where I was at, and I was like, I was there too. I was in that darkness where you're feeling right now. I was feeling that brokenness. I was feeling it. A friend called me today. Another friend called me today. Was like, I feel broken. And that was a weird phone. Like, that was just kind of like a weird conversation at first, because she just kind of like, well, I called her just to check up on her and her kids. And I was like, how are you doing? She was like, I feel broken. And I was like, well, that's a good place to start. You know what you feel. Like, you understand what I'm saying? You know that you feel something. There's something there. So that's a great place to start. So now you have to figure out why you're broken. You have to figure out, now you got to sort out these pieces to see what needs to be thrown out and what needs to be put in. And now this brokenness lets God fill wherever it is that needs to be filled. That brokenness lets you get rid of whatever does not serve God in your life. That brokenness lets that light come inside, so you can shine the light where the darkness was and the darkness is. So yes, being broken is fine. You're not broken forever unless you choose to be broken forever. You're not.
That's right.
We all have a choice. You can stay broken. You can choose to stay broken, but who wants to stay broken? That's not the life. That's not life. So you might as well just work on your brokenness one day at a time, and let God fill you, and let God heal you, and let God just pour into you. So that way you can pour into others, especially your children at this time.
Yes.
Because who's going to pour into them? The media? They're pouring trash.
Right. 100%.
Into people.
Their teachers? No.
No, right. Because the teachers don't know any better. The teachers are lost just like the rest of the world. Yeah. So it's just.
I define, I gave that, I don't know if you see my TED Talk. Have I sent that to you? I got to.
No, you haven't. I need to see it.
I'll send that to you. But I define vulnerability in that TED Talk as having the courage to experience love in its purest form. And your friend just being vulnerable, telling you, hey, I feel broken, is the step through the fear. Fear is a very thin veil, but it's a very opaque veil. So you can't see through it, but it is so thin. It seems so big. It's just so thin. It can be pierced with breathing. You could pierce fear. Fear looks so big and ominous because there's no light that penetrates through it. Once you have the courage to say, F it. I'm going right through. I can't be
And
here
that's what I kept
anymore.
telling her.
That's
Yep.
it. Go through. Exactly. And then you find like, whoa, like love is on the other
It's
side
so
of
much
it.
exactly.
Yes. And and love doesn't tell someone what to believe. Love doesn't tell someone what to do. Love just says, I love you. Let's celebrate. Let's
No matter
live. Let's
what, let's
be together. Yes. No matter
yep.
what. No matter
No
what.
matter what. There's no reason for you to love someone any less because of what they are or what they do or who they choose to vote for or who they choose to marry or who they choose to be around and hang around. Like, people have so many stipulations to love. You got to love me because of this. If
Yes.
I can't love you because you don't do this for me, well, I can't, like, there's always that. And I'm like, that's not love.
Right.
I'm gonna love you regardless of who you are. I'm gonna love you no matter what you do. I'm gonna love you because I have love. I am love. I've been practicing this love for all eternity,
That's right.
regardless of
That's
whatever
right.
it was. No matter how anyone has treated me, I still chose love. And people are like, girl, you are retarded for love. No, I'm not. This is how I want to be treated. So I'm going to treat you the way that I want to be treated. I'm going to show you grace, even though, sometimes it was hard. It was harder a lot back then to show a person grace because they would push and they would keep punching your buttons until you do decide, I'm going to show you grace with my fist and not anything else.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. That's right.
So,
It
and
is
I've
hard.
gotten to, it is,
It's
it's
hard.
really hard. It's really hard. But then you have to just keep practicing because people will try. They will try to pull you down and they will try to keep pulling you and pulling you down. But you have to rise above it. You have to keep rising above it. Like, my Facebook has gone wild. Like, they have just kind of gone all the way to the left.
Yeah.
So, the whole, and I putting on the Make America Great Again hat sealed the deal for all of them. They were like, you wore the hat. Wow, my gosh, what is wrong with you? You have really lost it.
Oh.
But it was like, I knew you supported Trump. Yeah, but you wore the hat. Why? And I'm like, what does the hat have to do with anything? The hat symbolizes racism. Says who?
Yeah. It says who. You're wearing it. You're
Right.
not white, so you can
I'm
define
not
what it means.
white.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And you should have seen all the crazy liberal stares me and my friend, like all the black people were getting for wearing this Make America Great Again hat. They were looking at all the black people like, you're black. Why are you wearing a racist hat? And like, we literally, like, we went to the Lincoln Memorial, and people like, you could tell, like, the white liberals were looking at us like, how dare you wear that hat? You're black. But the conservatives and the patriots was like, yeah,
Wow.
yes, I love your hat.
Yeah.
But you could tell the ones that were like, how dare you? And I was telling my friend, I said, I feel like we're like, was like how slavery was. They were looking at the freed black people like, how dare you be free? How dare you? You know, and that's how it felt. Like, I was a free black person walking around, and I was getting these stares from these white slave owners like, how dare you walk around here without a master? How dare you walk around here without with
shame
authority? Without
exactly.
shame, with authority. How dare you put on that hat? And we were getting all these crazy stares, and even from black people were laughing like, why are you wearing that hat? And then we got questions like, when was America great? I was like, first of all, I'm an immigrant. I came to this country, and my parents came to this country. Number one, the life that we probably couldn't have lived back at home, we're living it here. You understand what I'm saying? And you grew up here and you don't see that, then there's something wrong. Then there's something wrong here for you not to be able to see what it is. So but then once you hit that button, they get offensive. They get offended, and then they start wanting to call you names. The guy called us a B word and wanted to fight. Like, this is a grown man wanting to fight over the fact that you now feel stupid because you felt challenged, that you got stood up to about my views on why I choose to put this hat on my head. So they get confrontational, once they don't have a comeback. So now they want to fight. Now they want to call you names. Now they want to call you coons. Now they want to call you bees. Now they want to call you just all kind of just random bad names and things like that. And I was like, my friend wanted to fight, and I was like, we're not even there anymore. I said, now with this hat on, we got to act accordingly. We can't act crazy, because then they're gonna be like, it was some black girls in a MAGA hat that wanted to fight and that was fighting and things like that. They're not gonna ask them what happened. They're just gonna say the black girls with the MAGA hat started a fight, not they were provoked into a fight. So it was just it was a learning experience, and I was like, once I put this hat on, I'm not taking it off. This is it. Like, I felt like it just kind of sealed the deal for me. Like, I've been told, I was like, I need to get me a Make America Great Again hat. I gotta have one. I need to have one just to show people that, you know, this is for real. This is not for play. This is the real deal. And I am patriotic. And I don't know if we talked about this the last time, but I served in the military for some time, for 6 years.
Wait.
I just got done with my contract like in July. I don't think we talked about it.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't bring it up because you didn't bring it up, because I was just quickly, I thought I saw you in a uniform on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that, sister. What was that like?
I mean, it was the National Guard, but still, like, it was, I had always wanted to join the military from high school, because I was in the ROTC. Well, 12th grade, I joined the Air Force ROTC in high school. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to join the Air Force. But then life happened, and, you know, things happened, and I just kind of like put that military thing on the back burner. But then, I don't know, I was like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do in 2014, I believe. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, you know what? Let me make my military dream come true. Wow. So I signed up with a recruiter, a National Guard recruiter, just to see what it was, just to kind of get my feet wet and things like that. You know, basic training was hell. Wow. But it was the best hell. It was like the best, worst experience of my life. And I think that was kind of what helped me kind of get into this, like, it kind of like shaped me into this, like, I have to be more organized. I have to prioritize what's important and what's not. Because if I didn't join the military, I think that kind of helped me with my spiritual life as well, too, because it gave me structure. It gave me, like, just pretty much structure. Because you had to wake up, you're going to carry this gun, and you're going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're going to do PT. You're going to exercise. You're going to listen to this drill sergeant yell at your face and not say anything back to the drill sergeant, or roll your eyes. Because if you roll your eyes, you're going to have to do push-ups. Wow. So, and get the rest of the company in trouble and things like that. So it pretty much taught me structure. And then it wasn't until after that I felt like I went to basic training in the physical, then I went to basic training in the spiritual.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was like, okay, so it wasn't, and I was just like, this is so crazy, because it was like everything that was happening in the physical, you know, the hardship, the battle, like not even battles, because I didn't go to, but just the structure, the push-ups, the sit-ups, just trying to get physically fit. It ended up happening the same thing, because I got a lot more closer, because I had my Bible and I would read it, like, you know, at night and things like that. And that kind of helped me get better in the spiritual aspect as well. So while I was going through basic training in the physical, I didn't realize that I was going through basic training in the spiritual as well. So I was gone for 5 months. You know, basic training was 10 weeks, and then the school, because I was a construction engineer, like I was an engineer. So I got to learn how to drive bulldozers, what else, backhoes and things like that, you know, during that time. And even in my unit, I got to do those things sometimes, you know, during the weekend and stuff like that. But that was the thing. So I was happy that I never got to go, you know, got to deploy. But at the same time, you know, I knew people who deployed, but nothing happened to them, but they still deployed. So getting that aspect of my life was pretty exciting. Like, I was like, I'm badass. Like, no one can tell me. No one can tell me I'm not a badass. That's right. Like, I am badass So you can't tell me that I'm not, because I know what I am. So it was just, I was like, hey, it is what it is. But yep, I was in the National Guard.
Amazing, sis. You're just beginning. You know, you are just beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You are gonna
Mm-hmm.
stand. You're a giant. You're a giant.
Mm-hmm.
Giant. That's why when I say those names, you know, Candace and Brandon and
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, there's no separation there. There's no separation. There's no separation. Especially being Black and conservative and having the courage, the chutzpah, the grit to stand. You're a
And
giant,
be made
sister.
fun of, called stupid. This one girl called, she was like, don't worry. She was like, she'll crawl back under her hole to obscurity after Trump loses.
Yes.
And she's so stupid and brainwashed. This was under my comments on Facebook now. And so I just kind of hit her with the laughing emoji and just kind of keep it moving, because it's like they just they live for drama. They live to argue. And I was like, I'm not going to argue with a 40-year-old on the internet. That's not me. Like, if you're that miserable with your life, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to engage. So you're going to sit here and be talking to yourself under these comments, because I'm not going to engage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Amazing,
it's
sister.
been hard.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
I'm sure. And the irony is those who attack you profess the righteousness of their right. They justify. I had this girlfriend tell me a long time ago, if you have to justify something, it's wrong. And I was like, what? It hit me like a sledgehammer. If you have to justify something, it's wrong. And the left's attack on the right, especially what you endure, they justify it of, well, Trump's evil or racist or these things.
It's crazy. And it's
one of the fruit of the spirit is long suffering.
Yes. Whew.
Right.
And I thought I was done with that part.
Oh, but
I thought I was done.
Long suffering, to suffer long and to not easily provoked. Love is not easily provoked, and doesn't mean it's not provoked,
but it's not easily. Yeah.
And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by your power. I'm also blown away by the blindness of those who attack in the name of righteousness or whatever.
Right.
And
then they want to point fingers back at you. Sorry.
Yeah,
they want to point fingers back at you and say that, well, she hides behind, they're like, well, you hide behind religion, or you hide behind, not religion, you hide behind this newfound joy and peace, and you don't extend the same grace. And I'm like, if I didn't extend you grace, I would be all up in your comments saying things to me like I would be replying you and things like that. It's like they almost try to make you feel bad for not engaging with them, and so you can engage with them, but you have to just kind of like see past that and just kind of walk around with these blinders on and be like, I know the goal, I know where I'm going, so I'm not going to let you sway me from whatever it is that I know that I'm supposed to be doing and that I know is right. But you will see, and I'm gonna, and when that day comes, November 4th comes, oh, you better believe I will be like, okay, so who said Trump was gonna, you said what? What did you say? Oh, okay. So it's been, because I know God did not wake this many souls up for no reason.
For nothing. Right. That's right.
Give for nothing. Like
right.
This many souls. The Great Awakening is not happening for us to lose.
Right.
The Great Awakening is not happening for America to be defeated.
That's right.
The Great Awakening is not happening for humanity to suffer for the rest of our lives. Great Awakening is not happening because of that. The Great Awakening is happening so God can get the glory. God is getting the glory. God is getting all of his glory, because that's what he does. He makes them think that they've been winning. He does. So they thought they've been winning, but now God is like, haha, checkmate. I win.
That's right.
Now and forever. So, and it probably pisses them off because God chose the person that they least expected that he would choose, but that's God.
That's how it
God
works.
uses
That's
God uses people that you don't expect.
Look,
He's not going to go take the
I would just have to say, if I wasn't abused and grown up in the narcissist household and violently experienced what I experienced, I wouldn't have the love that I have for people. If it's the darkness that we know the light. That's why Genesis 1:2, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Right after God says, let there be light.
Let there be light, right.
The light comes in the absolute utter darkness. And that's how we know light from dark. When there's multiple lights, it's like, wait, what's light? Is this light? It's like, no.
Yep.
Everything is good. Give thanks for all things, for we know all things work together good to them who love.
For the good. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's just the beauty of it. So they're like, he was a racist. His father was the KKK. I was like, his father was the KKK, whatever you want to say. But can you see what the man is doing now? Can you see what he's done for the Black community? Can you see how much money he's poured into Black businesses? Can you see how much he's poured into the HBCUs? Can you see how much he's done for the economy? Can you not see what this man is doing? Are you that blind? Are you that brainwashed to not see what is going on? And so I just got tired of yelling, and so I just hit him with the MAGAPIL.com link. Here, go look at it yourself, because I can't talk anymore, because it's obvious that you just don't want to hear. So maybe it's better for you to read. So if you got something to say, here's the link. Click on it and see what this man has done for the past 4 years he's been here. And he hasn't even been there the whole 4 years, but he's done more than people who's been in there for 47 years. It's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing. And I'm like, people are really stupid. And I hate to call people stupid. But people are really that stupid, and it just really pisses. And I was like, I've never thought that I would get to this point where I'm so fired up to be so patriotic. Like, I never thought that I would be this person. I never thought in a million years. If someone would have asked me last year, would you be supporting Donald Trump? I'd be like, are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
Wow.
But here I am, like Donald Trump.
And you know what's cool? The nativity scene every year at Christmas has 3 wise men that were called the Magi. Magi is plural for mega. Mega, in fact, let me look it up right now. Mega, what does mega mean? Mega.
Wow.
Esoteric.
Wow.
I gotta look at what is it? I'll have to look this up. But mega is a esoteric term. One who like studies the stars, one who knows the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's so much more, and this is why humility is so important.
It's very, very.
It's just to have the humility. I have left. I mean, I did this podcast, Why I Left Christianity to Find the Love of God. Why I would leave anything, everything, if it's not true. Like, it's me affirming someone's anger is not worthy of me healing and living in freedom. That's what it is. And it's such I'll send you a link. I can't find it right now, but mega, that's what it means. And I didn't vote for Donald Trump the first time either. But even purely based on the hate and insanity, I woke up this year during the lockdown. I started watching his press conferences, and I just watched him for the first time ever. I know I heard grab him, he said this and that. I mean, I already heard all that, but I watched his his declaration speech or whatever the day he said he was going to run for president. Then I didn't watch any of the debates until it came to Hillary. And then I went into my own healing process in 2016. So I totally checked out of politics and news. I didn't watch news or politics or any of that stuff. And I used to listen to Never Trumpers and all that stuff. So then this year, I just happened to start watching the press conferences myself. No one could tell me what I heard. I know what I heard. And then I would see the reports right after the press conference would be completely the opposite. Even with the bleach, inject with bleach.
Right.
I watched that whole thing and no one fact checks the propaganda, the hate rhetoric, and no one fact checks that. They're only fact checking the narrative that stands in rebuttal to that propaganda. And anyway, I woke up and I'm like, this man has so much patience, because if I was up there,
I'd be ripping everybody's head off.
I'm sweating right now. I feel like that intensity, and he just slings and arrows, takes slings and arrows, and then he just keeps getting stuff done. The media does this. He keeps getting stuff done. The media says he keeps getting stuff done. And the stuff that is done is beneficial to all. Beneficial to gays. Beneficial to everyone. Everything.
American.
Yes, everything is a citizen and of the world too. He said the other day, in that video, the comeback of how he's not just doing this for Americans, but he really cares about people all around the world. And anyway, it's just a tremendous time and journey, and I am excited for the truth to come out, and that the narcissistic serpentine lie of the Roman system are not just washed away, but forever will remembered as the old. Old. It's the dragon's den, and it's no accident that we call China the land of the dragon. None of this stuff is accidental. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. It's just been great. It's been amazing. It's been fun. This is like the best. 2020 has been one of the best years of my life, and it's so crazy.
That's so cool.
It's so crazy.
I tell people, are like, how's it going? I'm like, it feels euphoric. I mean, as wild as it sounds, I'm having a blast. We're having a blast.
This is a different kind of high. This is a high you never want to come down from. This is a high that you want to keep getting high. You can keep getting higher with this high, and it's not going to be anything bad. There's not going to be any bad side effects. The higher you get, the better it gets. So hey,
that's right. keep going higher.
Let's get higher,
sister. God bless you.
Amen.
Every cell, every gene, every chromosome, every thought, every heartbeat, every lung breath, may God bless it all. Your family, your children, your husband, your home, your cars, it all. Bless it all. Bless it all. And it is covered, and it is done, and it is good. And it is good, sis.
You too. And I pray the same for you, because we have done it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We pushed, we pressed, we did it. Victory is truly ours. We did it. We did it. We did it. The hard work did not go in vain. We did it. We did it. We did it. So we can breathe a sigh of, because there's no more sorrow, there's no more pain, there's no more, only joy, peace, love, all of those things. This is what it is. We're moving into that. We have stepped into it. We have stepped into that glory. We have stepped into that new world. As they say, we're in 5D now. No more 3D. 3D's done. We're in 5D. So hey, say, do, and it so shall it be. That's what it is. It is what it is. So we're here, Lucas. So that stadium you said that you saw being filled up, that's you. You're going to be playing that stadium in the next two years, maybe even less than that. But yes, because it's time for a revival. It's time for the revival. The revival is here. So now we celebrate, we step into it. We step into that revival, and stadiums will be sold out. People will be revived. Souls will be revived, you know? So that's what it is. We're taking, and God did not wake us up for no reason. God did not wake us up for no reason. God did not allow you to start this podcast or your TED Talk. He did not let nothing happen for no reason. So you have to keep stepping into it. You have to keep walking with it. You walk with your shoulders high. You ride that horse in there and you say, yes, this is mine. Okay. Because that's what it is. It's here. The time is now. It's revival. It's time for a revival. We need a world revival. We need a revival. Yes. So this is gonna be better than what's the hippie movement? What they have? Coachella. This is gonna be bigger.
Yeah,
this is gonna be bigger.
Yeah,
Woodstock,
yeah,
Coachella, all of that. It's gonna be bigger than that. They thought Coachella and Woodstock was big. Oh, they're gonna see something bigger than that. Amen. This is gonna be great because this is it. 2021 I just see trailblazing. Like, I don't know. I just see it's like a fire. Like throughout the whole year, like there's just this fire, and it's just going to keep getting hotter and hotter. And those that cannot stand the heat will just die off or fall by the wayside. But we've been refined through the fire. So guess what? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, this is who we are, because we make it through that fire. We made it through that fire, and we're going to survive. So that's what it is. Those people that can't survive through the fire, that like how the king and his people fell in the fire and they the fire ate them up. That's what's going to happen. So we made it through the fire, and the ones that wanted to throw us in the fire to kill us are going to be the ones to be killed with the fire, because the fire is set now. So now it's time to just live, and that's what it is. We're here. We're here. And I tell my husband that. I was like, we're here. We made it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We made it through the toughest parts and the toughest times of our lives. We didn't struggle for no reason.
I have to play something right now. I've never shared this except for my wife. I went to this church when I was a reporter in Tri-Cities at this NBC affiliate, and I'm sitting in this church by myself, don't know anyone, and I'm listening to this pastor, and he stops and he starts prophesying over me, and I want to play this for you, for everyone, because this is for everyone. This is a affirmation. This is wild. He knew nothing about me. Nothing.
Wow.
Can you hear this?
This your friend here?
Can you hear
this your friend?
Yep.
What's his name? What's your name? Yeah. You know him? Did you bring him? Anyway, I hear the Spirit of the Lord say, man of God, I hear that there have been times like a Gideon. Gideon was frustrated in the time that he was doing. In fact, he was doing the right thing in the wrong place. And there's been times where you felt like you were doing the right thing, but in the wrong place. And I hear the Lord say, you are Gideon of your day. You're not small in stature, but you are a warrior. Gideon's name means warrior, and you're a warrior that God is raising up with a voice. And I hear the Lord say, man of God, I'm going to cause the word that was set before you, and even the prayers that have gone before you from your mother, from down on, from generation to generation. And I see the unwrapping of the gift that men seem to have neglected and seem to forget. But God says, I'm going to amplify the very voice that is within you. And he says, I'm going to cause the words to come forth. And I hear the melodies of heaven descend upon you. I see that the melodies of heaven, because of your worship, because of the Davidic anointing on your life, that you're one who will stretch his hands toward heaven and snatch the melodies of heaven. And you will see at times that as you worship, at times you almost can hear angelic hosts begin to sing round about you. And you know that I'm telling you the truth, because this is the hour where God says, son, I'm going to cause you to stand up. And no longer will you grow frustrated in your well-doing, but I will cause the very thing that is on your life to amplify. For I'm going to cause the fire of God even this day to be mingled with the very fire of the intensity and the opportunity to come your way. And I will cause those things to esteem to be as stubble, and to see that there have been barriers to melt before me as wax before the very presence of the Lord. For you are sacred, and what you carry is precious. And I hear the Lord say, you're like the kings that came before the Lord, that laid down the frankincense and laid down the myrrh and laid down that which was costly. And the Lord said, because you're willing to lay certain things that seem to be costly, even when your family thinks you're crazy, I hear the Lord say, this is the hour where I'm going to give back to you the years that the cankerworm and the pommel worm and the flying locust has eaten. I will cause there to be a restoration in your life, and I will cause you to taste again that he is good, and you will begin to be erected in the house of the Lord. And I will raise you up and trumpet you forth, for you are one also that will go from nation to nation, and I will connect you with the voice of the Lord, and you will sing the song of the Lord, and you will break and sing to them that are weary, and you will give a voice of hope and a voice of destiny. For surely this is the hour where the Lord says, I've called you and named you and even called you this day. For the Lord says there has been some decisions that have been made even in the last week or two, and you're going to see that I'm going to come as the pen of a ready writer begins to come upon you. You're going to begin to write new songs that are coming. You're going to see that there are melodies. You play an instrument. What instrument you play? The piano. I see the very things that God has ordained in your life, that as you minister, you will carry sometimes your frustration. And I see that the keyboard is your comfort. That's where the presence of the Lord begins to minister to you. He says, son, because you have been faithful and because you have been diligent, you're going to sense that the anointing of God on your life will only amplify. And it has been your way out. It's going to be your way out. Your presence and your worship will be your way out, and bring in your way into the very destiny that God has for you. There is ministry galore on your behalf that God says, I'm going to raise you up, call you a son of the house, and I will launch you forth with a very anointing. The very thing that you dreamt about even 2-3 years ago, you're going to see come to fruition, and you're going to sense that the Spirit of God is so within you, and you're going to learn to dispense that and release that, saith the Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. And I don't know why, like, because my husband sings and plays the keyboard too. And I just heard the voice say that they're going to do a song in two languages. There's going to be a song. So y'all are going to, I don't know when this is going to happen, but hey, you know, you guys are going to do a song together. I don't know how.
Yeah, that was for us. That was for you and I, our households. Yes. Yes. God bless you, sister.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you. I'm sending you.
Thank you.
I'm hugging your spirit right now. You just, I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for you. You don't understand. Like, I really have met my soul brother. Like, it's like, you know, when you meet like a family member that you just have never met before. And this was how it was the first time. And it's just been like that. Like, I don't know. It's like,
thank you.
We are family. Like, we're family.
Yeah.
We're family.
Yes.
We're family.
Yes.
We're family.
I love you too.
I'm just so grateful. Thank you. Yep. This is it. Trailblazing time. Now we just kind of, this is it. The stage is set. Now it's just for us to make the way and do whatever it is that the Spirit keeps telling us to do. And it's easier said than done, but we have to do. It may be hard. I know, because it's hard. It's hard listening to the Spirit. Because you'd be like, you want me to do what? I'm not comfortable with that. Just like when I started trying to do the live videos and stuff like that, I was nervous, sweating like a dog, and just talking. Like, I was just like, I just gotta keep doing it, I guess. So, however the Spirit is leading me to do, I'm just following. Even though I'm not comfortable with it, I just have to keep doing it until I do get comfortable. But I'm trying to get like you, Lucas, just to be comfortable behind the camera.
You got it, sister. Thank you so much for joining this conversation with Rachael and I. My sister Rachael, blessings to the highest order all over you and your family. Thank you so much for having that conversation with me. And everyone, thank you for listening. I just send you blessings of peace and groundedness and love and light during this time as we enter a very turbulent time coming ahead. It will all be to shake and remove the darkness that has had its grip on the hearts, minds, and bodies of humanity. This darkness is fleeing. May love, light, and truth guide our way. And just know that everything is going to be okay. I bless you all. I am Lucas Mack. This is the Golden Rule Revolution, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening. For support in your journey, go to my website, lucasmack.com.